Alright guys, I just wanted to review this Primus ETA PAKLITE. Prior to purchasing this, I could not find too many reviews on this particular model. The ETA, there was quite a few, but the ETA PAKLITE, there weren't too many. I managed to get this through work, and so here it is, standard box. When you open it, there's a whole heap of instructions, a couple of different languages. To be able to go through the instructions are pretty straightforward. The pictures are clear and they do actually show important things that we'll cover in a sec. Taking it out of there, this is the bag it comes with. Nice little bit of drainage there if things do get wet and you need to hang it and dry it out. Can be used for other things as well. As you get the stove, comes with the all important BPA free lid. Comes with the bottom to help protect the heat exchange unit. The lid does have a nice little drain feature, so you can drain the water out if you're cooking food, pasta, that sort of thing. Excuse the phone. Just locks off. There's little locking tabs around, and they screw into the locking tabs there. Unpacking the stove. It was actually a lot bigger unit than I thought it was going to be. I envisaged something a little bit smaller, but you know, that's fine. As an example, there's a credit card holder, whatever. That's the size of the base. Everything comes just sitting there, so there is a little bit of assembly required. Don't know if you can see, let's try and get that there. There's a little split pin just in here, hitch pin, and that allows you to remove the entire burner assembly on its own, which is a good thing in some regards. It is a pain getting it back on. You'll also find that the gas line here comes loose. It took me a while to get it right, and thankfully the pictures in the diagram show it. There is a little spring-loaded catch just there. Push that down. Now the correct orientation of the preheat tube is above the burner, like so. Sorry, just trying to get the right shot. Once you're happy, do up the little grub screw here. Watch the piezo igniter when you're installing it. You know you haven't got it right if this sits anywhere else but above there. The igniter does work well. Makes a pretty awesome spark. I was quite impressed with it. It's out of the way, so it's not going to get damaged. And you're not going to burn yourself when you're trying to light it. The feet here pivot out, and they are locked in place by these little lock tabs here. And once you're done, it's all set up, ready to rock and roll. I'm using a brand new, unopened, sitting in my cupboard for a while, Jetboil heater, just for a little bit of comparison. I was using Kovea stoves to see how well they worked, and they work brilliantly. So this one's 100 grams or thereabouts. We'll actually weigh it before we start, just to make sure that everything's okay. Put the camera down there. Now I'm measuring in grams, how the rest of the world should be, including the cylinder, 189 grams. So I'm going to hopefully try and do this all uncut, so that you can see how very little fuel this unit does actually use. I was impressed with it, to say the least. To to connect it. It's a simple matter of taking the canister. Only thing that's annoying, this hose is really rigid, so don't flop around. Take the canister, nice little wings here to help tighten it. Just screw to the left, feel the thread bite and drop in, and then screw it in nice and tight. Not too tight so you're going to wreck the threads and you're going to squish the O-ring to the point of obliterating it, but that's it. That's how it'll sit. Apparently don't remove this or you'll avoid the warranty. To unpack, there's, if you can see that there, a lock. To unlock, squeeze this in, slide it up, squeeze, and then they lock into place here and here. The base pops off, exposing the heat unit or the heat exchange unit. Pretty simple, very similar to Jetboil and some of the other competitors now. Everybody's gone to greater surface area, increasing the heat dissipation. This pot is pretty sturdy. I've had a full litre, 1,000 millilitres of water in here, and that handle wasn't going anywhere. I was impressed with it. Sits quite nicely, really stable, not going anywhere. Inside the pot you'll find another plastic bowl. Inside the bowl is the self-releasing windshield. There's just a little tab here. Just push that up, slide it along, push it down, lock it in place, back, and it's locked in place. You have to put it on first before you put the pot on, but that's it all assembled there. Okay, what I've done, and you're just going to have to bear with me, is I've currently got, don't know how well that's going to pick up, 250 mils, just under of a cup in here. So that's one. And just to make up for being slightly under this time, well, last time we'll go a little bit over. That's all the water in there. To light it, it really is pretty simple. Let me get my timer going as well, so that when we start literally on the dot. For those of you who want to know, it's pretty cold here today in Tassie. 15 degrees Celsius. Haven't had this on for 24 hours, so it's reading proper time. Not proper time, proper temperature. Now, let's see here. I'm going to turn the gas on just a little bit. And we're going to hit start. So we're away. Put the lid on. And now we wait. It is a little bit noisy, as you can hear. You can have a conversation over it, but it'll be a little bit loud. The nice thing about this is you can tune it down. So for optimum fuel burning, I have it just set just under full bore, and still within 2 minutes 30 seconds we get a rip roaring temperature. Just to show you in the pot, it's starting to boil already, not even a minute in. If you're like me that does someone who doesn't like really hot water or hot drinks. If I can't scull it, then it's too hot. This right now would be fine, so less than a minute. Show you the burner. Nice thing is none of this gets so hot that you can't touch it. The burner there sits right smack bang in the middle. Reload this back on there properly. Minute 48. Nearly boiled. I would actually call that boiled personally. So we're going to stop it there. And we've got a full rolling boil. So I call it 2 minutes with the lid on, 15 degrees Celsius. That water was straight out of the tap. It's pretty cold. I didn't measure the temperature of the water, but it was cold enough you could, you know, if you were out hiking on a day like today. Show you how cold it is, but it's wet, overcast, and yeah, it's pretty cold. So yeah, minute 58. Now comes the best part, is to see how much fuel we've used. One thing I have noticed with this is when you undo it, you don't hear that no. The Kovea ones didn't. That did made a little sound. And you can see it's not hot. Bring the scales back, turn them on. Let's retighten that back up again. Just tear that out to 0 grams. So call it 190 grams before. And this with the Jetboil, and what's interesting is we've used 172 grams, which is interesting. I did the same test twice beforehand, didn't film it, but I will do it again. The Kovea mix only used not even a gram when weighing the bottle. So alright, sorry about that. I was hoping to do that in one take, but apparently the memory card is chock-a-block full. So as I was saying, the Kovea didn't use any. This has apparently used 14 grams. So 14 grams of boil, roughly 190, make it 140, you get 10 boils, so 3 times a day you get 3 days worth out of a small little canister. It's interesting. The Kovea ones are a lot bigger. I've got the really big ones, and that's it. So I hope you like the review. We'll do some other things later on. Thanks very much.